And good afternoon, everyone. Ryan Ragland with the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour as we are getting set for the Step-Ladder Finals here at Gladstone Bowl in Gladstone, Missouri. 6 states were represented in today's tournament: Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, and Nebraska. And we have a field that's pretty interesting. And I'm going to give you one. Well, I don't know. I don't have all the sheets of the standings. I don't have game 5. I have 4 and 6, 7. Leading, we'll just go ahead and go with the start at 13th with the last cash. Dan McCook out of Kearney was 212 over. Sam Zeblin Jr. at 221. 224 over was Jay Watts out of Omaha. That was in 11th. And 10th, Jerry Wiesendanger from Salina, Kansas at 227 over. Kevin Mason at 233. He was in 9th. Richard Croker from Baser finished 242 over, tied with Mike Vanderbrugge for 7th. He's from Shawnee. Jim Snowden, who pretty much led the field, shot 840 the first 3. Slowed down a little bit, said he just could not get the parallax out of his hand soon enough. And that's the only ball he threw all day, and it cost him as he fell out of the top 5 by 20. Now, check this out. In 5th from Omaha, Steve Points, the lefty. Nice game, up and in. Clay Hardgrove from Memphis, Tennessee, our only Tennessee bowler, at 267, so he made it by 2 pins. At 272 over is Greg Benefield from Lee Summit, the super senior. 1 pin ahead of him was Don Breeden from Urbandale, Iowa, just outside of Des Moines, and from Papillion, Nebraska. As he goes 278, his last game, shoots 315 over, Tony Monta Jr., the 6-time Team USA member. So an interesting field as we have getting ready to go as we're at Gladstone Bowl. A huge thanks to everyone here at Gladstone. And I'll tell you what, try the tacos. I had some tacos, pretty freaking good tacos. That's all I'm going to say. So Clay Hardgrove from Memphis on the right lane, taking a couple shots of practice, and Steve Points, a couple on the left. As we'll get ready here in a little bit, and you know what, Dave? Oh yeah, you're getting on it because I'll tell you why. I know you're riding with this guy over here. Oh no? Well, get this on for a second because we can't hear you. Gotta get those on. We can't hear you now. Yeah, because the last time we had you on, they missed some good stories, and I didn't have the right audio adjusted for it, but they missed a heck of a broadcast. I'll just say that.
The which one?
The one that you're on with me over at college, yeah. and I didn't have the right setting for the microphone.
I remember that. That's when Tony and I first came down involved.
But Tony did what Tony does.
Strike a lot.
Made his adjustments and everything. We're watching. And the thing that killed me, I'm not sure what ball he was throwing, but had a lot of surface on it. It's still just clean to the fronts, and he just nothing crazy with it.
It may have been a proton physics. I think I can't remember.
Yeah, it was.
Hey Tony, what did you throw toward the end? Was that the Zen Master? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he was throwing the Zen Master. I'm looking to get me a new Zen. I got lucky enough to win the raffle today, so I kind of appreciate that because now I just may have to go get me a Zen Master. It's actually a really good ball. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I actually drilled one of those up. That's what I used to qualify in the Sand Hills this past week, and it's a pretty aggressive ball. I like it. Of course, I got a weak hand, so.
Which most seniors usually do anymore.
Yeah, well, I passed the senior into the super, and I'm not far from the super duper, you know.
Super duper. So. This pair, you were telling me this pair, there's a big difference in it. And from what I've looked, I didn't ask you which one, and I haven't asked anyone else. The left one might be a little bit drier, so a little bit more crisp.
When we got down here, it was like game.
I think it was like 3 or 4.
3 or 4, you know. So, you know, it's really tough when I come off of shooting, you know. Yeah, it was game 4 because I shot like 770.
And then go buck 80.
And then go buck 70, and 21 would hook probably 2 or 3 feet earlier, and then the right lane would skid an extra. So it was funny. It was what was strange about it is, you know, of course, I was born with the guy that shot 840 his first 3 games.
Yeah, Jimmy Snowden.
And he comes down here, and you know, I'm averaging 250, and another guy's averaging 240, and of course, we get down here, and the high game on the pair was 2-0. So, I mean, I chopped 3 spares, and it was pretty bad. But
yeah.
Then I guess the game after that, Dan came down and told me that there wasn't very many high games on that pair again. So, and it was so funny because they tell you this was supposedly the highest scored pair in the house, and I said you wouldn't know about the last 6 games that have been thrown on it, you know. But
and of course you have all the transition from those other 3 games too.
yeah,
So
they held up fairly well, except for a couple of pair that the fronts were starting to go. 1 and 2 was a little testy. I didn't struggle on it. I mean, it was pretty good for me. But I guess a lot of people that ended on it, it didn't go well for them. Middle of the house, it was, like I said, there was quite a bit of head oil up there, and just had to make some good choices.
Overall, there wasn't a whole lot of disparity from one side to the other, or middle to the outside.
Not early. I think early the left side was probably a little tighter than we had when you watched the people that were playing. And because Steve bowled to the right of me a little bit. Now I didn't see where Greg was on the other end of the house from me, but when I would say right after game 4, where we started moving in, when we started moving in a little bit, a lot of our carry went away.
Right.
Again, the guys that's got the high tilt, Tony, you know, some of these guys that grab a little hand, and this kid here, he has some good.
And I was about ready to say, he's got. It really seems like what's been working outside of Tony. You're talking about the tilt, but it really seems, at least on the right side, if you can really get that axle tilt up to really clear the fronts, it has a good set down lane. You bring it down more and have more of that forward. You either, if you get your axle tilt down, you better have a forward roll on it so it doesn't do that jump.
So, like I said, and then of course the last couple of games where we were moving in, I believe, the lefties were going a little more straighter up, and it was a very good deal.
Right
now, Steve, God love him, he we were bowling down there, and I can't remember if it was game 6. It may have been game 6. He's striking right along, and all of a sudden he goes. I think he had like a 3-bagger, 4-bagger, 7-10 strike, 7-10 strike out. Wow. Or he shot 270 last game. He had a shot 270 the game.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, that was nice shots. Too bad it didn't go down for you. All right.
Yeah.
That sounds like me at Council Bluffs one time. I go down there, and they were actually having a regular tour stop, and it was over at Thunderbolt. And I was throwing the it was the bright yellow motive. I can't remember.
Oh, I remember that one when it just came out. It was a pretty hot ball on the tour at that time.
It was really good, and it was on the Scorpion, the long Scorpion, and I go like 4-bagger, 7-10, 4-bagger, 7-10. Walk up in the fill ball with another 7-10, and I was on the broadcast pair. I come walking back. I threw the ball. I don't know what I can do. And I sat there and I put it down, and all 3 of them at the table just look at me, just their head down's going, my God, that hurt.
Yeah, there's usually not a lot you can do about it.
No.
Steve, but like I said, I watched I'm not much into the lefty-righty thing. It happens, you know. I mean, we've had our own issues.
Do you have the sheets? All right, thanks.
You know, so we you know, it's like I said, I'm not much into that. It's either I bowled way too many years and way too many turns, you know, that, yeah, they'll.
So what you're saying is you don't go the Phil Hellmuth route where it always happens to you. Well, the more you bowl, the more it's going to happen to you, okay? Just accept it.
So, yeah, I get more frustrated at myself, you know, after I came back from my injury. I'm starting to get back into the swing of things, and it's my spare game is, I wouldn't say is stellar.
That'll work. Thank you. No, that's good. That's all I need. Thank you.
Oh, nice shot at that, but you know, not as stellar as I should. Get a little better.
Yeah.
I missed, and that was what 21-22. I chopped 3 spares for $170, or I shoot 2-0, and it's a little different for me, you know. But
yeah, I see what you're talking about with Steve. That last game he shoots 190 and barely sneaks in.
Yep. Like I said, he
sneaks in the cut by 20 pins.
He is the cut, isn't he?
Yeah, he was the cut by 20.
Right.
So, but even then, you're throwing that 190, or no, I'll take that back. He goes 270. You go back thinking that 190 is really going to hurt you, and he comes back 270. So that kind of repeats himself.
Like I said, that 190 he shot was 260. I mean, because the 710s, of course, there's never a good place for it.
No.
You know? But they were ill-timed where they were at. So, but then, like I said, he struck out in the 10th to get to 190. So, I mean, he could easily head 250, 260 when you take those 710s. It's between strikes, and then.
Well, he goes 279 game 2, 289 game 4, and 270 game 7.
Yep.
That helps.
Yeah, I was right next to him. Like I said, he bowled very good toward the end. So.
Yeah, that ball went dead left when it hit the pocket, so it was kind of weak.
Like I said, if you'd have watched the shot that.
Hargrove.
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 I was thinking Clay. When he was on 22, he got the ball out just a hair, and it dug really deep.
Yeah.
Now, you watch, if he kind of pulls it in just a hair, he probably could flat 10. So this pair was really strange, and it's just how they, how they played them.
Well, I'm looking at the scores of the top 5, just their individuals, and kind of seeing a pattern. Both Steve and Clay had 3 games of 260 or higher: 279 game 5, 277 game 3, 269 game 1 for Hargrove.
Right.
And then when you look for Bonifield, he goes 58, 42, 49, 52. So he didn't have those 260s or whatever, but he had 4 of those games that were pretty solid.
And they were just right.
Right. Well, then you look at Breeden. He goes 49, 45, 56, but he had a couple 230s to back it up.
Right.
So, yeah, you had to be pretty solid.
Donnie stayed pretty, and I imagine Donnie's probably playing them pretty straight.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because in the early I played them pretty straight until they started really to start. The heads were going away a little bit at the back end. You know, it's just normal transition.
Right.
And I imagine Donnie's so good at when he readjusts his hand position, and he gets to stay off the side of the ball where the ball goes straighter through the front part of the lane. Looks like he moved a little bit, and he pushed it inside.
He's trying. It looked like he's just trying to keep it in play, and then you pinch it in a little bit. It's not going to have that
there, and it's right.
It's not going to have that push, so you've got to find that happy medium.
Correct.
Kind of what I was talking with Brian Manini earlier. That he was saying that I think it was like game 3 or 4 he started feeling the fronts move, but the back ends were still crisp. He goes, well, if you don't get it outside 10, it's going to push on you, and then if you get it right, it's going to scream. So he was trying to figure out a way to create more angle, but don't overdo it, and then that one just falls right off his hand.
There's a mistake. He missed
Yeah.
that, so he's got a back-to-back opens on the right lane. And of course, Steve's got the ball. Every ball he's shown he's been in the pocket, so he's playing.
And that lefty doesn't have the traffic on that side.
So I looked through there. I couldn't tell how many lefties and righties were playing. I think like I said, you got 2 in the top 5. You probably got about maybe 7 or 8, maybe more playing. So it was a good percentage.
Yeah. And I like his roll.
So.
And then that one there, just
like I said, that's this pair. Now, if you look at 21, if he goes down the lane and goes out just a little bit, the ball's going to really jump hard as it leaves the pattern.
And this is one where it's not a really a 2-in-1 move. It's more of a 3 and 5, so you can get that right read off the pattern.
Right. That's right. The wind coming out of the thumb hole got that one.
Yeah. What was that? It's that vacuum effect.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys, we talked about it earlier in at college. Of course, didn't get to hear it, but this is the first time we've talked since then. A lot of guys in that area ready for the back-to-back weekend up there.
Looking forward to that. Looking forward to one after Thanksgiving, I think.
Over at Topeka and Emporia.
So then I think I'm trying to make them all. I think the one's going to be tough is going to the one at Sage for the doubles.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make that one.
A lot depends. It's in January, so that's going to depend on the weather. I think Tony and I were going to bowl doubles in that.
Right.
They said the 2 old guys could bowl. I says, well, it's a 50. He's a 50 and I'm a 60, so But they said, ask them if we could do that because it's easier, because you bring your partner on Saturday and then you just qualify, kind of like the Tomsu tournament that's coming up here too.
I need to get in that one sometime. I've heard that's a lot of fun.
That is a good tournament. I think
Steve's got a good roll right now.
Yeah, he capitalized on the mistake that Clay made, so he was. That just
literally your whole mindset in that situation. If your mindset on that has to be, if you see your opponent make a mistake, it doesn't matter what has happened.
Yep.
You go up there and you double, you're going to feel pretty good walking back.
Yeah, you pick up the 10 plus pins that he lost. That's a good shot there. It looks like. But like you see, again, he played it inside a little bit.
And if he moves right with his feet a little bit, then he's going to get himself in trouble.
It'll jump early. It's just, I don't know if that was the characteristic of this pair, or I believe it's just how the bowlers before broke it down earlier. And like I said, with the left side, you get the same lefties, calling through it, as they cross. And most of the lefties that I see that I knew that bowled, they play in the same area. It's not like the righties where you've got people play all over the place.
I'll say that one had a nice read off the pattern and had that forward move into the pocket instead of trying to catch up to it.
The light hits today were pretty good. They really the kickbacks were lively. They're pretty lively, and you'd be able to send pins left and right. It's the ones that I saw that got to be very. What was hard about it is when you got the ball in just a hair and you got it down the end. A lot of 8s and 9s.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of 8s and 9s.
Yeah, ended up seeing a lot of those.
Flat 10 looks like
it was going left, but he had the big push on the 10 side.
Right. It's so funny that you figure when you shoot 260, you figure you're doing really good. And it was so funny in my early. It was so funny that I shoot 260, and I lost ground. and then I shoot 230, and I gain 5 spots. I mean,
There you go.
so it just goes to show you how our game.
Yeah.
It's you never really can tell. So
I'm gonna go on a limb and say Steve is in a pretty good spot to win this one.
He's pretty good. I wouldn't bet bet against my man the fridge. Don't give me a chance.
There you go.
Yeah. So Tony's been bowling very good. We both made the finals this past weekend out in Lincoln.
There you go. He finally got that right read off the pattern, and it just smoked it.
Well, he's gonna make Steve stay honest.
He's making him show up.
Yep. So Tony's been bowling very well. Of course, Tony's got that. It's got the killer mentality on you.
Yeah.
He doesn't mess around when he gets on the lanes. He didn't care who. He'd take his wife out if he was bowling. I guess so would I. But
he didn't make up for it with a nice dinner later on.
And of course,
there you go.
Yeah, and of course his wife's a talented bowler too. I think she averages in there in about the 190s. I mean,
well, if she had the chance, she probably wouldn't mind taking him out either. So.
Oh yeah, especially if it's getting money. She's pretty good at it. Yeah.
Oh, hey, don't worry. We can get you on here too.
She gets. It's so funny with our little bowling group. We get into our tournaments. When I bowl really good, I give my wife what we call a stipend when I get home.
Right.
Get it here. So Tony didn't get no stipends. Oh, look at this!
Tony's walking over.
Yeah, we just talked.
We're talking about the stipend.
Talking about the stipends.
David Axon joining us here from Belleville, Nebraska, as we're in the first match of the stepladder finals, and I'm going to say Mr. Stone has completed the win on that one. Steve points, for against Clay Hargrove. But it's kind of nice that Clay makes the trek all the way from Memphis and still comes. Is this the stipend here?
Well, no. Did you steal my stipend?
She's trying to figure out how to answer it correctly.
You may have took my stipend. That's what I thought.
But it's nice to see Clay Hargrove to make that trip all the way from Memphis out here, make a step ladder and bowl well.
Yeah, he did. He threw the ball. It's the first time I've ever seen him. So I would tell you. I think Steve's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to give the pocket away very much. It's if he gets it.
I got to think a different a ball change here on the field ball. Something it's looking like it's setting up okay, but it looks like there's a little bit of inconsistency with the read of it.
I might, like I said, most of us when we get there, if you've got the match ball in hand, you want to see something different, so you'll throw that,
So Steve Bonifield from Lee Summit coming up next against Steve Points. So, all your stipend there?
Yeah. All that massive money.
Hey, that it may take all of that for the gas to make it back home.
Yeah, it's getting there, Yeah.
I've started taking my car to work instead of my truck.
Right. Yeah. If I wasn't so lazy and fat and old, I'd probably take a bike.
Exactly. I got a 20 mile hike to work, so I'll sit there and bypass that.
Yeah, you have to pedal in my old stuff across
Chingy, all the way to work.
Yeah.
But nice job by Clay Hargrove all the way from Memphis.
Yep.
Finishing 5th.
I don't know.
See you later, Jerry. Have a good trip back, man.
I don't know if he was here visiting somebody or if he just drove up here to bowl it. I don't know.
Hey, but it's going to make that trip back home a little bit more pleasant.
A little extra dollars in your pocket, but I don't know, with the gas money, going back.
We're all bowling for gas money, right?
Pretty much. I tell you what.
I had a friend of mine in a Sacramento area said 5.5 a gallon.
Wow.
Yeah. Exactly. I'll just stay away from there.
Well,
And when you go to Vegas, it'll probably cost more for gas than it would for the rental car.
Yep. That's true.
That's when you Uber and Lyft and all that other good stuff. So.
They turn your mic off again this time?
I don't know.
I made sure I got the mic set the right way this time.
I don't know if he turned it off. I had a conversation. I was talking about your wife. Yeah, so it was kind of funny. Yeah, I gave her some kudos on her bowling. So
Greg Bonifield.
Hey, she's pretty nice. She's always making me dessert all the time.
You know what?
She doesn't cook at home for Tony, but she makes me dessert.
There you go. What kind of dessert? What kind of dessert are we talking about? Are we talking about apple pie and cream cheese crust roll? Jeez.
I call it crack cake.
Yeah, crack cake. I just gained 40 pounds. Thank you very much. Just thinking about it.
My wife says you don't need to eat all that. She needs you need to tell Cheryl to quit baking. I said, I ain't telling her nothing. I said, I like it.
That's right. It's your job.
She gets mad when I get a hold of the cookies, so that she likes the cookies when I go over to their house.
Cookies and ice cold milk. No, there's very few things better.
We go when I go to Mana's house for dinner. I get the dessert and get he cooks some good fillets and so forth, and so
that's almost like going to St. Louis, Tony. Oh Lord, why is his name escaping me? Tony Marcella.
Oh yeah.
Going to Marcella's house with his
Marcella.
Grilling and smoking.
He's
that good.
I keep yelling at him.
Bring some of that over here.
Hey Clay, nice bowling. But John's done just some very good stuff. I keep telling him you got to save me some of that. John and I we've crossed together in the last two regionals.
Center looking at my. For some reason, I have a receiver that hasn't done anything. He's one of the top receivers on Buffalo. What the hey? He's killing me. Someone's going to have to talk to Josh Allen to get him going. As Benefield finishes up his practice.
This is going to be an interesting.
This is going to be interesting because Bonifield's kind of crossing a few more boards than points is.
I think this may be just a who carries the 7 now.
Can't tell. I'll have to see if he. No, he didn't make a ball change.
No.
Looked like it might just tighten up the line a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, it kind of looks like Bonifield's crossing a few more boards, so I can't tell exactly what he's throwing. Hey Scott, can you tell what ball Bonifield's throwing? That one on the left?
I'll go ask him.
All right.
There we go. Had to.
Can't tell exactly what he's. Looks like a storm ball.
He goes back and forth. I don't know what he's throwing here.
I doubt it is because he has a 300 Columbia 300 on his shirt.
Intense fire.
Oh, the intense fire.
Yeah, that's an old storm ball.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know what Steve's throwing.
I'm not sure.
Greg's ball
Right.
speed's is probably a little slower, but he's a little more. I
He was
think
pretty-
they're both playing pretty close to the same break point.
Yeah. Just getting there at a different direction.
Right. Greg and I always seem to be fighting out every all these tournaments. We seem to fight for the super senior all the time. So I'm kind of glad we got one of our old
guys in there.
Guys in
Okay.
there, I keep knocking on the door, so hopefully here soon.
Greg was pretty solid all day. Goes 58, 24, 22, 25, 42, 49, 52. So he
So he didn't have any really. He never got in trouble.
No,
and that he was pretty consistent. I mean, he had in 2 and 3.
it was about 730, 740 the last 3, which will help you a bunch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he goes 150, goes from 129 to 272. So
Correct.
that'll help in any tournament pretty much.
Yeah, let's see what let's see if he can jumps on this one real quick. Throw another double. I mean, like I said, has Steve won one of these? I don't think so. Has he?
He's made enough finals, that's for sure.
He's made quite a few. I just don't know if he's actually won.
No, I can't say for sure. I don't think he has.
Good shot.
Ooh, see, and that's why for that shot there is like the reason why I thought maybe there would have been a ball change in this one, because it gets there, but it just doesn't. It's not getting that angle back into it.
And I'm not sure, but just watching that reaction, I think 21 may be hooking a little bit more for these guys, because I watched, Greg when he threw his, looked like it was pretty good, 6-pin. So so I have to watch that one and see what he does.
It's probably not the prettiest 3-bagger he's thrown for a while, but it works.
It's all relative when there's 10 up there, right?
Yeah. That one he's lofting to get a little bit more push to it. That one finished a little bit better. This kind of looked like he's trying to really not try to change his line too much, but try to get the energy a little bit further down lane. Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve. What ball you throwing?
No, that's cool.
What is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Should be.
So it wouldn't hurt to
Yeah.
do what?
All right. Hey, man, drive careful.
Really?
All right, bye.
That's my left-handed buddy Gary Livingston. This is his first one. He got off to a rough start, but see now Greg over adjusted for his last shot that he played over there.
Yeah.
Because it dug in so deep. So to me, it looks like he moved a little bit left.
Try to just
And he caught just a
just
hair
in,
more push.
one of those just in case kind of issues, and that just in case didn't happen. Well, and that's that one thing that's kind of hard. A lot of people sit there, well, this lane's doing that, so the other one's going to do it. So maybe not.
And like I said, a lot has. He's throwing that intense fire, and it's a ball that it pushes through the front part of the lane pretty easy, not having to do a lot of help to it. And again, you're looking at the left side, so you're not getting your heads are not going away quite as much.
Right.
So. Well, let's see if he moves on this right here. Looks like he moved a little in.
It looks like to me he got more firm with it.
That and he moved
just
inside the track.
Maybe a pinch, but just stayed firm with it to get it to.
back and look just a hair. So that looks
Kind
like
of,
this
kind of
looks like
this is our own little replay kind of issue.
just for you and me. Huh?
Yeah, since we're watching off the YouTube
Right,
monitor
right.
deal.
So if you'll see, he comes in, he's just a little inside the track this time. And last time he was outside the track, I believe. We'll see what he does here.
Kind of our benefit. I didn't think about that. It kind of worked out pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, bring that up in there. See, now,
Now he's a little bit
outside.
further left of it.
Right, so he goes outside the track there because he's got the back end on the left lane. I think.
Yeah.
Again, it's just watching him play it.
But he's definitely playing him different.
Right.
Well, the one on 22 looked like he was more at 10 and firm and up it, and then finding the friction on the left lane.
So it looks like Greg may have moved a little bit. Let's see, not much. Let's see. So he moved in and pushed it out, and he got see that one. He kicked the.
Now
the
is he going
weak
to
seven out
get
that
back
time.
to where he was on the
Right.
left lane before he was?
Right. So the old school of thoughts. He can either firm up his shot and to get the ball to go through the front part a little bit better,
Right.
or he can move in and soften it too. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know Greg's game enough to figure out what he would do. Whereas I bowl a lot with Steve, so. It looks like he firmed up. And,
that was
yeah.
almost the 8-10.
Yeah. It seems like he firmed up a little bit.
I'll tell you what, I was crossing with a guy. We both know very well, but I'm not going to bring it up. But we were crossing at a tournament, and he threw a good ball, but for whatever reason, I kind of saw 4-9 almost standing up like that 8-10 almost did.
Oh, man.
And he comes walking back, and I go, nice shot. I go, I don't know if you saw it, but I almost saw 4-9. In my aspect, I'm going, hey, this is what I saw. If you can take it for what it's worth. And he looks at me and goes, why would you tell me that? I'm going, I'm trying to help. Next time he walks up on that left lane, 4-9.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I tried to help you. See, that was just a pinch inside.
And it hooked.
And that one I could see off this angle. He's just a pinch inside 10. In fact, we'll try to go back to our instant replay.
Yeah, when he was hitting just the track before, I think he got a little inside of it, and then it just as it left the pattern, it checked up. So what's going to be interesting is he going to let that affect him on going to the left lane.
Oh, and he chops it.
He chops it. Well, I think Mr. Benefield
He got some help.
Got a little life into him now. So.
Now, when we're talking about the replay, what I'm doing is I'm actually going back to our monitor to the YouTube broadcast deal that actually shows it in the delay of how it's going out. So
right.
It's actually our replay.
Let's see what he does here and see if that little chop affects him. I know Greg's chopping at the bit there, because he can actually get it within 10 pins.
See, in that one, he's outside 10.
Yep. And he's
a nice slap on that one.
So, well, now here's what's being interesting. So if Greg gets up and throws a double, we're back to a less than a 10
pins.
10 frames. So.
And I'll tell you what, Steve's using something that I didn't think I'd ever use that much. Nice shot by Greg. Steve actually using the Pin Pal app that keeps tracks of you enter in your pins, what you leave each frame, stuff like that. It's kind of interesting to look at the end. And I haven't been bowling enough to use it this year, but I mean it's a paid app, but it's a one-time deal.
Yeah, a lot of people use that.
I'll tell you what. It's pretty. I think Brian Manini's the one that got me started on it, and for a while I was like, I'm not going to be able to do that often, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. Keep track of all your spares and stuff for tournaments and league and stuff like that, and season settings. That one just didn't quite finish, and that was one that Greg really needed.
Yeah, he did. Me, Dad got a little quitter 7, but like I said, just got to look sharp. Got to pick it up. I mean,
And I'm watching over here the bowler coming up in the semifinal with Don Breeden.
Yeah.
It looks like he's still in urethane.
He very well could be. I know I did see. I did see a few people throw.
I can't tell.
Throw urethane.
For a second, it almost looked like it was Anthony Simonson's grenade.
You know,
for a second.
The thing about Donnie Breeden, if you've known him as long as I have, he's got bowling balls that are older than us. He just keeps it, and he throws. When we get on some of the dirty shots, he pulls
He pulls
balls.
it out.
He pulls balls that are 20, 30 years old, and he just, you know.
Hey, there's times I've thrown on some conditions I wish I had the old original Black Diamond.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But he brings out some stuff you're going, that belongs in a museum. You know?
Well, it's scoring too well.
And he does. So Donnie's game's pretty simple too. So he's.
See, that was more at 10.
Yep.
That was a lot better. That was more at 10.
Yep. Well, so basically, what we got here? It's at
Punch out, go 230, 238 for
yeah.
Greg.
So right.
036, so 230 to 260
here,
right now.
He shuts him out right here if he strikes. I think that puts him in the 240s.
Yeah, I'll put him at 40, even if he just marks. If he marks, I'd put him. I'd put him at.
Yep, he just needs a mark.
At
really.
02040 just for a mark.
Yeah. Of course, you don't want to throw a bucket and spare. You need some count.
God forbid.
Yeah, I did that today a couple of times. That looks pretty
There's
good.
a good shot.
Yeah.
That's another winner for Steve Points.
Yeah. No, not gonna bring on the next guy. So, the only thing that was sure about that, lefty was moving on.
Yeah, pretty much. That's about it.
Yep.
So Steve Points wins that one. He's going to be taking on Don Breeden.
Yeah.
And Don, as we say, kind of looks like he's throwing the urethane at the practice pair on 17-18. He goes 23, 49, 27, 45, 56, 38, 35. So that's pretty solid when your low two games are 23 and 27. And, a couple 230s, a couple 240s, 250.
Yep. So
that's pretty solid.
Good ball for Greg. It was a good tournament. So you got Donnie Breeden from Urbandale coming up. A real good friend of mine from Urbandale. Most people, he tore the senior tour up this year. Tommy Fry Hess.
He's on his way to Dubai now.
Yeah, no, he's not leaving.
No, but I mean, that's his next big deal. I think he'd been there once before.
Yeah, he did that. He was on the regular tour. I think he's going to represent Team USA, and good for him.
Oh, that's a good deal.
He is bowling so good right now that.
Can you say his confidence is pretty high?
Oh, trust me, it's very high. I was going to say they had a nice little regional today out there. I'm not sure. I'll look it up real quick.
Him and his wife just got back from a little Florida vacation.
A little Florida.
Honey, I got to get back to work. I got to go hit a regional.
Yeah. I got to hit a little regional.
I got to pay for this trip there.
Well, let's see here. Looks like Eugene McCune won the tour, or the 50 tour stop today. Tom Adcock, there's another bowler that's been bowling extremely
Lenny
well.
Borsch.
Yep, Lenny.
Tommy
ended up fifth. So, but
still not a bad tournament. I'll take a third place regional or fifth place regional finish.
Yeah, I think Tommy moves on. He'll be going over and representing us old guys over there. I think he's going with Parker Bone.
Is that that looks like an old Bonanza. It looks like an old Bonanza Yellow Dot or.
I don't know what he's throwing. It's Scott go down there and take. Scott's gonna
He's taking a look at it.
He's gonna make sure it's still.
He's making sure it's not a Shirty Pro. That's what he's looking at.
Making sure that it's in there. And guarantee it's not within. It's probably a.
Do we have a durometer meter around here? We need to check the hardness on that one.
Yeah, that's funny.
I remember the first time I ever saw a Shirty Pro. Remember the guy that worked at Pro Shop back at the bowling alley told me about it. He goes, "Yeah, just put your fingernail in it." My God, I left my friggin' fingernail on that ball.
Yep. So I don't know. I'll ask let me ask my man here.
So Don Breeden taking his practice shots as we're in the semifinal match here at Gladstone. And David Axon joining me.
I will tell you that you're going to see, like I said, you got the different reactions sitting on this pair.
Yeah.
You can see it by Donnie. He's trying to go, he's usually an up and at 'em type guy. But you can see when you get a little right of the track and the ball hooks a lot, and then you get a little left into it.
Now you just picked up the urethane.
Yep, it picks up a little speed down lane, and you it's hard to kick that flat 10 out.
I'll tell you what, that roll, when he throws that ball, the roll that reminds me of, a real good friend of mine, Jeff Jensen out of Wichita, who lives in Vegas now.
Right.
Watching that guy, and that's all he did. He just had the white thumb insert.
Right.
But watching Jensen bowl is just so simple, and has that kind of that same roll. It's like you're saying, that high axis, but it's still kind of forward enough to where it really doesn't get you in trouble.
And there's your
nemesis, problem.
There's the nemesis of urethane sometimes,
That's when you got to decide if you're going to take the good with the bad.
Yep. So, Donnie was out on tour with us for a little while, made a lot of good showings. He manipulates the ball a little bit where, some of us can.
Hey, Scott, so what ball is that?
Which one?
What that urethane?
It's a Bonanza 300. It's actually an old track enforcer.
Okay.
The Bonanza 300.
Okay. Yeah.
See, I told you.
I know it.
He goes to
I didn't even know they took the. I didn't even know they took the reject tracks and put Bonanza on them. And we're talking a track enforcer. That's in the 80s.
Ooh, did you see the Scout?
Yeah. I'll take that back. The early 90s, wasn't it? The enforcer.
It had to be, yeah. I haven't seen one in a long time. Like I said, Donnie's probably got a.
Well, let's just search this thing. How about that?
Yeah, he's probably got a. Donnie's probably got a museum sitting in. He's probably got a museum of balls sitting in his basement.
Track enforcer bowling ball. Let's see. Here we go.
Yep. He's gonna fire. He's gonna pike it right up the outside, and it's either gonna be, he's gonna be damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Well, there's the old core of it.
Yep.
But it doesn't say. trying to get the logistics of it on the dates. But it doesn't say. I gotta say that, like I was saying, the late 90s, early 80s, or late 80s, early 90s.
Have to be.
I'll tell you, the one time I did throw one of those.
There's your.
Me and a friend of mine went to Gage when Rick and Bob Benoit owned the pro shop at Gage. I'll tell you that long ago. And Bob was
back a day or two.
Yeah, Bob was out, I guess, on tour or something, and me and a friend of mine were just sitting there bowling. We didn't have anything else better to do, so we drove from Salina to go, just kill a day. Rick Benoit comes out and says, "Here, throw this one," and it's one of Bob's old balls. and I put my hand in it, and I thought I severed an artery in my finger.
If I'm not mistaken, Bob Benoit, when he drilled the ball, he just put the drill into it.
And that's it. He never did the bevel.
I crossed a couple of tournaments with him many years ago, and I put my hand on. I did. You just touch it. And I asked
You're
him,
going, ow!
I says, why do you? Why? I said, ask Bob one time. It's weird.
He didn't. It helped. He didn't grab the ball.
He says, I knew if I grabbed the ball, I might lose a fingertip.
That's about it.
I says, hell, I almost lost a fingertip just moving the ball. So.
Yeah, there's I think there's someone else that's like that. I can't remember. That's on tour.
Yeah, there's a few that just put the holes in them and they'll just touch it,
That one he's getting out a little bit more, so he's got a little bit more reaction. Had that nice back end on it.
Well, like I said, so you got Greg just came off of it and he came off of it, so now it's got a little play into it. So lanes may open up a little bit. Donnie was very uncharacteristic of Donnie. He's one of the more quality spare shooters that you run around because he plays them pretty straight, but I think he just mischaracterized the back end on lanes 22 down there by the pin. So
I've run into a lot of people lately that are, in my mind, always too far to the outside of either the 7-pin or the 10-pin, whichever,
Right.
7-pin for the lefty, 10-pin for the righty. But they're, like for the 10-pin, too far right, and they actually get it in that track area. For the left side, you can kind of get away with it more, but that right side, they're still trying to throw their regular ball. It's like, no, you use that oil. The oil is your friend on this right now.
Well, let's see if Donnie, if he brings it back here.
Right up the pipe. That thing,
Yep.
And that's what Urethane does. It'll read at 10 feet. And that was kind of interesting when the tour did that. They had the Urethane tournament. Then you had that old school thinking, I've got to get the ball to set at 10, 15 feet and just let it watch. And your mind's like, no, it's going to keep hooking, and it doesn't. And your brain can't.
Sometimes it's hard to comprehend that.
Oh, my
when you're
God.
watching that.
How did we bowl like that?
Well, the biggest difference, I think is, back in my day where I grew up on the rubber, the plastic,
Yeah.
the urethane, is, you're throwing on a lacquer base, and so the ball's
Totally different surface
totally
than what we
different
had.
surface, and of course then you've got the synthetic versus the wood, and so when you're throwing on the lacquer base on the wood like we used to throw,
Yeah.
it's just the absorption rate, so that ball picks up. Yeah, today's my mom's 89th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah, so she's down in Texas, and so I'll try and call her here in a little bit.
Not dealing with this cold stuff.
Yeah.
And he made the ball change. It just, you could, now that he made that ball change, you can tell what he was saying on the right lane when he came walking back. Is like, I got to bail on it. It's not there, not going to work.
Well, the one thing about people who do throw a lot of urethane, and Donnie is one of those guys. My buddy Jerry Rooster, bowler,
Yep.
He likes to throw urethane a lot. You got to make a commitment to it. You got to know what it's gonna,
But you also have to know the characteristics when it's telling you no.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
You can't fight it. If it's not going to be there, it's not going to change anytime soon.
Like I said, my buddy Jerry was throwing it for a while, and we got down to it, and I looked at him and told him, I said, Jerry, I says, I know you like that, and you think it's a good reaction, but you might want to take something to move left a little bit that's a little stronger. I mean,
Yeah.
And he did, and he actually bowled pretty good. He took it in the shorts a few times, like we all did, but
Yeah.
it's the missed times. Steve's
He got inside that one just a little bit, but still.
he's got a little room to play
Yeah.
with here. And,
I think he's walking back. Usually when there's no reaction like that, they're walking back going, thank you.
Yep.
I will take that and try to take advantage of it.
Steve's gonna put the hurt on him right here with this one. Because, I have to look at it. I don't think Donnie's very comfortable for what he's got. And
Not after a ball change that soon.
correct. So we'll see what he does over here if he's gonna do a ball change.
So
gonna move.
in a situation like that, and I've God forbid that I try to guess what a pro bowler's doing, but I've seen a couple pro bowlers on the tour, on the shows, and he just smacks that one right in the.
He seems to be locked in pretty
Yeah,
good right
I think
now.
the lane's coming to him now. It kind of looks like he was really touch and go, but really trying to not manipulate it. But he's stayed with the game plan, and through game 3 now he's in a lot more comfortable area. But I've seen guys where they, it's almost like on the show they try to be smarter than the lane instead of giving you what the lane is giving you, and going, everyone else is doing this, but I'm going to try to be smarter than everyone else, and it actually gets you in trouble.
There you go, Donnie changed balls. He moved a little bit. If you'll pull that back up real quick, you'll see the big move he made.
Yep.
Looks like he moved he moved the zone with his feet and the zone with his ball. I don't know what he's throwing. I think he may went to that bonanza, it looks like. But if you'll see this one, he kind of get a little bit of room. Looks like he's moved left on the left lane.
Yeah, he's at 10. Yeah. He was looked like he was going up 5, but now he's at 10.
Yep. Now he's moved over, and he's going to bump. He's going to bump up probably about 7 or 8. There you go.
Yeah, he went deeper on that one.
There you see. So he got a little more speed, but he got in, like he said.
If he gets it right to that friction a little bit, it'd have been a little bit better off.
So you got to be careful on if you get it to the friction on the left lane, down lane just a little early, the ball jumps. But if you don't hit the friction, you're not gonna. It's not gonna.
It doesn't matter what you throw.
Right. So it's a little frustration. I think there's just not much you can do about it.
And I'll tell you what, if Steve keeps throwing the ball like he is the rest of this game, it's going to be interesting against Tony.
It's going to be good because I'm going to be curious. Well, the difference what Tony's going to do is Tony's going to jump in. He'll probably start his ball around, I would say around 2022.
It wrapped 7. So. Kind of looks like over here watching him throw some of his shots over there. He's sliding gutter, but he's got such soft release that it just goes.
With the guy's size hands of my grandson, he generates so much power effortlessly that it's just unbelievable.
Well, it's
a guy who wears a size 6 shoe and probably a size 4 hand. He might kill me when he hears that.
When he hears that one, but
yeah, his wife would laugh at that one. Hey. I just said a guy with a size 6 shoe and a size 4 hand generates so much power.
She's laughing.
Well, Cheryl, she kids him all the time about his shoe size.
Jeez.
Says he goes to
he says
he goes to the junior section to shop for shoes.
Oh, the information you're giving me during the talk with him, we'll start talking shoe size.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting, and I gotta apologize. I keep forgetting that I kind of need to bring like a lighting system or something to have a little bit more lighting.
Yeah, just bring like a like a little desk lamp so you can look at it and see some stuff. That and I usually pull my glasses out because I'm blind.
Well, I can't see 4 inches in front of me, but I can see 50 yards.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I'm kind of the same way. Well, so we had a total of 53 people bowl the tournament today,
which is actually becoming pretty average, and which is pretty good.
That's what I was talking to Dan. There was some good shots,
Just smacked it.
but asking, he goes, yeah, it's about what they've been getting. We're growing a little. They're growing a little bit. It's getting more and more advertised, and it's good. This is good for you look at the. You look at the old bowlers that come out here. Like most Briars, they like to see the high scores. Well, I'll guarantee you want to see some high scores. Come bowl this tournament.
You'll be amazed at the scores that come up.
Yep.
Make sure you drop a line on the comment on the chat page.
Yep.
That's always interesting. That one just didn't quite.
There's that quitter 10,
And it's, and sometimes I wonder how Don would have bowled if he didn't have the urethane with him to get, and just threw the other one and get lined up a few extra shots.
Like I said, I think he, it's like anybody else. You kind of go what got you there.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things they don't do here is, that's just part of the format is, it's, they a lot of tournaments when you start out the stair step, they'll they recondition the lanes.
Yeah.
This particular tournament, you bowl on what you finish on.
So in something like this, when they don't rerun the lanes, is it like for you? Do you look at getting what you can get early, and then trying to make sure that you see that adjustment ahead of time so that you can have something for the finals if you get there?
Well, correct. Depending on the shots, like for me, I'm a fast starter, and then I struggle toward the end because I get caught in a transition.
Yeah.
That whereas like my last few games.
I think we got a ball rolling in the back.
Yeah. My last 3 games, it wasn't that I didn't throw the ball very, very good, but it was one of those like when I start to move in, I'm that good 2-0-2 team,
Unless you can get that right read off the pattern.
Unless you get, really get a good kick off the, and like I said, that goes back to the conversation we were having earlier, trying to put a little more, tilt to the ball to get it to go through the pins a lot better.
Yeah. That was a pretty good statement throw right there.
Yeah. So he's going to move on and bowl Tony, it looks like. Unless he falls down and breaks a leg, Of course, have that football bowling again,
There you go.
Donnie tackling him on the front. You'll see a guy come flying across the lane, knock you out. But like I said, I don't believe Donnie probably threw urethane to start with.
I get a text from Mark Birkenby. He goes, "What's wrong with no bevel?"
And there's a name from the past. There.
Oh,
Mark, how you doing today, buddy?
Never says there's anything wrong with the bevel as long as you have enough calluses to make sure you don't sever the artery.
Well, I think Bob Bedoin took it to a different level than most people did, Mark.
There was, I cannot remember. It was someone else that did that, and I wish I could remember. And I remember seeing one of Norm Duke's thumb inserts. His the mold.
Yeah.
I guess he's been switching over to the mold now, and
the Ultimate.
Yeah, the top of that is still pretty sharp. But if you talk about a guy that's meticulous about his thumb feel, he may master that one.
Yeah. Like I said, I crossed with Storm and Norman quite a bit. He's really he is just phenomenal. A lot of these guys, unless Pete, Norm, Walter, all these guys, you watch them, but until you sit down in the pit with them, and you're on the you're 10 feet and watching how they it's unbelievable. They do
Yeah,
both
it is.
well,
So okay, so let's just go this route. The top seniors. I got to think Norm Duke is number one.
Well,
When you see what he's done after, I mean he's still going to the major tournaments. He's still a factor.
oh,
He's and Parker is also, but Parker, I think, for the simple reason, I would put Norm ahead of Parker just for the fact that Parker's not bowling the biggies as much as Norm is.
I asked Parker, that when he bowled the last regional I was at, and I was talking to him, and he's working. He's working for Brunswick. He's making things, so he didn't get a chance to go bowl as much. And like I said, like everybody else, we all get old and things. Like I said, you had Pete that retired and Walt retired. And I'm sure they're not too far behind, but
The versatility that Duke has.
it's amazing, and but out there are so many senior bowlers that we got a hot tour right now. We really do.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's nobody hotter than Tommy Hess from the year that he had.
Yeah.
And
I
don't
thought
see it
for a
changing.
while that Marsala was going to make the run because he had a nice start to the season.
Yep.
But Tommy was right up there in that top 5 spot.
Oh yeah, almost every week. But like I said, we've got. It's so funny if you go down and you look at the players that we've got on the seniors right now. It's almost like going back to the mid '80s.
Oh, it is. It's fun to watch.
Because that's who we got out there right now, and we're getting stronger every year. I expect to see Angelo coming into that winner's bracket here pretty soon because, Brad's bowling very well too.
He had a pretty solid season also.
Him and Tommy were fighting tooth and neck for Rookie of the Year,
Well, and Chris Barnes was in there also until probably the last one.
And Chris had to skip a tournament, which hurt him in some of the points. But he was right there. When Tommy won the Masters, and of course that was between him and Chris at that time. So, all right, well, that score was pretty good way here.
Mark chimes in. He says, "Me and Zach, his son Zach, no bevel. I went back and forth, no thumb reverse." He was pretty much a zero pitch. I forgot about that.
And didn't you also throw a 13-pound ball?
I
remember a few times that you could have.
Hey, whatever gets it, he's got to have something to generate the speed to get it through the fronts.
Yeah.
It is, and I'll never forget. There was a time that Mark called me way back in the day, and he goes, "Hey, we got some tournaments to go bowl. Come with me." And I didn't have anything else going on. Ended up, we were going to go to Beatrice, Nebraska to bowl I think it was either a double singles or team double singles or something. I don't know. He said, "We'll pick up with someone." Ended up not getting there. But we hit one 9-pin no-tap tournament, and it didn't go well. So we ended up in Washington, Kansas for a 9-pin no-tap. And they had the big 300 pot. No one had shot 300 for the 9-pin no-tap.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, there's something wrong with that. Oh, we'll be all right. So we ended up going there. We threw our practice, and I think somehow we both went like double or something, and he missed one frame, and I ended up going a couple more, and so we screwed that one up. Well, the scores were so high we weren't going to reach it, so the only reason we were bowling was for the 300 pot.
300 pot, that's usually it is.
So we just took a few extra practice shots. Okay, let's start game 2. We tried it again. We got about 4 or 5 deep. Screwed that one up. A few more practice shots. All right, we weren't there an hour, I don't think. we might have taken the last spot for the totals, but it was more fun than you'd think about just doing it.
It's like I was telling you earlier that watching Tony's practice shots, that he's going to be around
22, 23.
And, he's going to be going around the spot, and sure enough, he can't throw any better practice shots than he just did.
No.
So, one of the things I do want to mention while we're on here, when we were talking about inserts a while ago, I'd be remiss in thanking my sponsor, Turbo.
Yeah.
I've been on their staff, their senior staff, for a few years, and if you're looking for a good set of grips, and your thumb, finger, they've got tape. I mean, all the accessories that you need. I put my little plug in. So
They've got some good stuff there.
I like them. They've treated me well.
I won't mention the patch that I have over on the left side of my arm, but that's
fine. I got the other side to mine, so wear it proudly. But great company, Dave Bernhardt and company, and all the CBT, Carolyn Doran's on there, Ballard, and Chris Sand, and so we're off and running here, and I predict this is going to take a pretty good score to win this one.
Yeah.
This could be in the 240s a piece. So they. Hey Donnie.
Oh my God. We have a shocker. The Jets have won 2 games this year. As they come back and defeat, I believe the Jets defeat Cincinnati 34-31.
Yeah.
What? After Cincinnati puts that beat down on Baltimore, it's just
He
flash.
missed that one, and I think he missed that right, but he got a.
Panthers come back and beat Falcons.
Yeah.
44-6.
Did Detroit get the first game win yet?
No, they got hammered.
I was kind of.
Texans showed up against the Rams. They actually covered. I think it might be the first cover this year. And the one time I don't take Houston.
I missed a score. Scoring. Yeah.
Houston covered the first time this year. The one time I don't take Houston.
Yeah, looks like they had a little scoring malfunction here. I think Steve's going to get an extra frame in here, get an extra strike. He may need it this time because I think his hands are going to be full with the fridge here.
The fridge.
Yeah.
Would that be the mini fridge?
Yeah, it's a stock fridge.
The stock fridge. Well, I mean, we're talking about small hand and foot size, so that's why I was wondering if it was a mini fridge.
Yeah. A lot of stories behind that, but we won't mention that one.
That was almost 25.
Well, they got the 5 out, so.
That's important.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a high-scoring affair. And I mean, if you look at Tony's scores, how he started out, his first game and his last game, or first game and game 6 is probably his
Everything else
game.
was nothing lower than 241.
Yep. So he.
That'll get you up there.
I think the last tournament that he bowled in, I think he finished 3rd, somewhere around there.
I think it was game 4. When I looked, he was down like. I think it's back under here.
It's game 6. There,
Yeah, I got 4 there. He was.
He was in 6, when he started out, but yeah.
Oh, that was game 7.
That's game 7.
Here's 4.
There we
That's
go.
6.
6 there, and there's 4. So 4, he was sitting back. He was, he was making he started making his move. He goes 250. Basically, you didn't, like you said, you didn't shoot.
It was 18, 58, 45, 41. Yeah, I'm not even top 5. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he started inside.
I think, like I said, I think the difference between this game and what Steve's other games were is that Steve was able to get pretty comfortable because his opponents didn't really put any pressure on him except the one time Greg did. But I think when Greg left that 6-pin in the 7th or 8th frame, I think if he was struck there, he put a little more pressure on him. You know.
Yeah.
That's mindsets. You know. Yeah.
And I know me, you know, if I'm bowling someone like Tony and I saw his practice shots, and he's walked up and he's just gone double, just packing them high. That almost puts a little bit of pressure on me going, you might want to get what you can now because he's not going to miss a whole lot.
He's going to bowl a pretty solid game.
There he's right at 20. Yeah, he got right at 20 on that one. It got right quick.
It got right a little quicker than he wanted. Like I said, on 22, if you did get the ball right a little early, it did jump, you know, and he knows that. He got a little handful there. No pun intended, you know.
Is that the size 4 hand?
Yeah, that's funny. I'll hear about that one later.
Oh, you're going. Oh, trust me, I'm going to be asking about the size 4 hand here in a little bit. So I'll even up.
Yep, I'll even up now, pretty much. So you know. Yeah.
Or no, up by 1. Excuse me.
He's up by 10. So. Is it
49, 48.
48. That's right. They both did double.
You can look here. Both our eyesights that distance aren't in the back.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's pretty good there. So.
The monitor is not only for the computer reasoning.
That's funny. That's funny. I'm gonna bet this one's flush. What do you want? What do you think?
I'll give you 10 to 1.
Crossed about 20, and there he went. Actually, he missed that a little. He'll tell you.
Yeah. Courtesy clap.
He kind of cut that one. Yeah. He missed. Oh yeah, he knows. There's one thing you can always tell about Tony when he's bowling, and he's like anybody else. Whether the shots are easier or hard, you know, takes the same approach to it. He wants to throw a good shot.
Yeah.
We bowl league, it's the same thing. You know, yeah, you missed it right and it comes up high flush. You missed it left, it comes high flush. You know, but. He's like a lot of us.
You're still wanting to feel comfortable and get that confidence in the shot.
I know that I threw the ball, and he'll come back and he'll tell you. It may have been flush.
Then when he got way inside 10.
He'll come back and tell you.
I'll pull it up.
I threw a bad shot, and you know. So.
Yeah, you can see on the original deal, he got that one way inside 10. It never had a chance to make it back up the hill.
And see, on his side, he still has that juice inside on his head's inside there.
Yeah.
That kind of gets he still gets additional push in there. Oh yeah, he was probably 2 boards inside of what he's been throwing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So. But yeah, you know, like I said, you go back to here, and I think the last time I told you, you know, Tony coaches a lot. Great coach, you know. If you're ever looking for some lessons, you know, hey, you can always hit him up on Facebook. I think his prices are pretty reasonable, you know. I always love my price, you know, free, you know.
Yeah. Not a bad thing.
Yeah. If I need some coaching, I usually get it. I'll just offer him a bush latte. And
I'll tell you something. I just saw something. I like what he does. And I don't use any rosin at all.
Yeah, he keeps it between his towels.
But he keeps it between his towel, and you get these guys that are sitting there banging the rosin bags and crap and everything.
It's
and
all in your shoes.
It's like, come on, guys. And then they leave it on the table, and then when you go to the next pair, it's like, when did it snow over here, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Let's see, I bet this is going to be flush, too. What do you think?
He won't hit 20, I'll guarantee that.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
No,
He did hit 20.
He got a little more. I'd like to.
More speed?
A little more speed on
Pushed on it?
Yeah. So.
See, I'm kind of liking being able to look back at this.
Yeah, he probably, He probably hit that maybe. Yeah. He caught in a handful. So, but
I don't. Does he make his adjustment with speed very often? I wouldn't think so with his game.
yeah, he does have to. He was got that right a little quick, but I think he did have a little more speed. Tony's just so fluent when he throws the ball.
Yeah.
It's, like I says, it's effortless. His release is time and time again the same.
Mm-hmm. If he strikes here, he's going to have a pretty strong command of it.
Take command of it. I think last time we were doing this, I says, I bet he strikes. And that's when he doubled, or he left the Greek church. But
and that one, he's almost, God, he had to be at 24, almost 25 on that one, and playing a lot further in.
Yep.
So he's got a lot more front oil.
Yep. So, but he's in control.
And right now, Tony's in the situation where it's up to him if he wins or loses.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. And, one thing, him, you can look at, you don't know if he's shooting 150 or 250.
You can't.
His demeanor, is just always there. Now, league's a little different.
You got that card money on the line.
We start hitting,
That one just never made it up the hill.
We start hitting our bucket hangs. It's not all about who scores. It's how, it's who gets hung for the buckets the most.
Yeah.
So.
Damn it!
Yeah, it's hard to hang him. So.
We always in Salina mowing the Wednesday night league. We always had somebody got hung. We always yelled that to the bar.
Yep. We do. If we had to play beer frames and buying off every time in our league, you have to get hung 3 times before it's a bucket.
Oh, before it's the bucket. All right.
Yeah, that's good times. He's tough to hang sometimes. And
I bet.
We bowl our league on Friday nights, and we're there for a lot of fun. We rotate.
Especially on Friday
schedule.
night when you're not going to work the next day.
We rotate our schedule, so it's everybody gets a shot at being the man on the bottom.
Oh, gotcha.
So.
As they say, as Nelson Burton Jr. would say, it would behoove Steve to strike here.
Yeah, he's running out of frames. Yeah.
Trug that 5 into the 10.
Well, if he goes off the sheet, he shoots 247, and I believe Tony doubles here. He's shooting probably 240, 250. So, Tony can just about
he's looking at 270 if he off the sheet. So
he can probably pretty much put the match away here. And I know it's only the 7th frame, but based on his previous shots,
it wouldn't lend you to believe that anything else would happen.
yeah. I think his.
He's pinch inside a little bit. Yeah, that looked a lot better when he
throwing. Yeah.
I think that he saw some of that last one when he pushed it at 20 to get it through that spot a little bit further. It was like that. Probably I executed it, but I'm not comfortable with it.
Looks like Tony had his double boiled eggs today. He's ready to go.
Wife over here smart. Do I need to ask him about the double boiled eggs?
Well, no, that's what he used. That's what he has before he bowls. He has.
Okay, something else to ask him.
Yeah, he likes.
I'm getting a lot of
eggs.
intel off this.
I'd tell you about our last tournament last week, but it wasn't pretty. Bowl Goop wasn't pretty.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting me a Zen Master.
Yeah, it's
I think he's selling me on it.
Yeah, we
start filling this out. Go Zen Master. There we go.
So, yeah. So it looks like we have another first-time winner here. That was one thing about it. I asked him, Steve had made the finals, but I don't think he's won a tournament before. So.
Well, when I was making, finals decently. Scott Dam made the comments of he just might make the mistake and win one sometime.
Yeah. It was so funny. I was talking today. So the last tournaments that I've been on, but this is like the third one, that the winners always come off my pair of lanes.
Yeah.
And so when I'm bowling with the guy that shoots 840 something, I'm going, he's averaging 270 something going in here, and then he shoots, then he has a bad game, and then he has a good game, and a snowman, I think it was Jimmy's. Snowman, so he threw the ball really good, and it was one of those. He got into the zone. He hit the 1-3. By God, he knocked 10 pins over. So, well,
Yeah, Steve was always running, playing
strike.
the left lane further out.
Well, so unless disaster strikes here, and
This one here will pretty much lock it up.
I think this one will pretty much lock it up. But like I said, Tony normally plays parts of the lane. Tony sees the lanes a lot different than what most of us do. Picking his brain on certain things have been around a long time. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's flush.
Now he's back inside that one again.
And he caught a lot of juice, but like I said, he's able to get that roll. The light hits carry. The light hits in this house carried very well.
They're pretty good.
They're actually pretty good. Like I said, it was those high flush hits that got to be really tough because the ball really goes through the hole, and you leave an 8 and a 9, because there's just no deflection. So Tony's last games are going to be 78 and 79 respectively.
That's pretty good.
That's very good. We got
So
that
he's only at
inside.
25 on that one.
Yep.
That's all right.
Ball change. Yeah. So.
Yeah, with a spare and
it's a
count,
bad ball.
we'll
It
give him
needs to change balls.
50.
So.
Well, he's got to spare it.
He does have to spare.
It's not done yet.
No. Well, it's a tie if he misses it. So. I got a feel it's going to be dead flush on that right into the.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
I saw that off his hand like you did too.
Yep. So that is very, very, very uncharacteristic.
Yeah. We could have a tie, folks.
Very well could be.
And would you say this is Steve's good lane?
I'm not sure. I mean, he's thrown it pretty much on. I think this is the one that he's missed the most.
He left it. He left a 10 pin in the 8th or in the 6th.
He left that when he got inside, and he left a little weak 7 pin. Like I said, that's very uncharacteristic of
Wow. That's about as good a ball as you're going to throw.
Nope. That's all you
So
can do.
Steve Points throws a good ball in the 9th. Wow.
Yeah, and just to let his wife know, it does come with, I think, with a bottle of wine. Doesn't it? So I think.
Wow, that's.
Yeah. Sure, will get the bottle of wine, and he'll get the money.
Oh, geez.
So, well, thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Dave, thanks, appreciate it. It's always been fun talking with you, man.
We'll see you down the road.
Yeah, have a good trip back.
Yep.
Dave Action joining us, and Dave made the comment this is going to be a really good match, and yeah, that's what it was. Is Steve Points with the fill ball. Need to get Tony out down here. Steve Points, go ahead and join me over real quick. We'll come down here and wait for Tony to come down. We'll go ahead and talk with you real quick, Steve. Coming out of the opening spot, I mean, it looked like during the second, third game, the lane really started coming to you, and you could just really see the reaction, really where you wanted it.
Yeah, it didn't change a whole lot from where I was at down here earlier today, but I just had to move a little this way, and then if it didn't quite carry quite right, then I had to move back a little bit, but it was pretty close.
Left lane, you were playing a little bit more further out. Right lane, it was around 10. And you kind of migrated about 11 and 12 a little bit, and that's where you kind of see it flutter.
Yeah, that fluttered a lot right in there, so I had to make sure I got it out, but not so much angle that it was going to wrap a 7 on me. So I did what I could. You know, Tony, he's one of the great ones, so never sad to lose to him.
Well, and when you see him miss that 7 pin, you got to be going, what happened?
Yeah, right. You got a chance. He don't give you a chance very often. So.
That was great bowling coming out of the opening position. It was a nice finish and a good trip back home. We'll get Tony mounted down here, and I don't know if we want to talk about the double eggs before you bowl, if we want to talk about the size 4 hand, or if we want to talk about the oops 7 pin.
Yeah.
And the angle I was at, I just saw it right off your hand. I was like, what? And that's just. You know, you're throwing the ball so well, and sometimes it just happens.
You know, I've been struggling on the left side here lately, so I'm fighting the demons right there. So, but I just obviously made a terrible shot. I'm trying to make sure I got it to that side. I've been missing them to the right, so overcompensated.
One of those things where you're trying to make sure you don't do it, and what do you do?
Yeah, I do exactly what I didn't want to do, and worse.
Looking at kind of watching the angles, you were playing 20 on the right lane, and the one came up high.
Yeah. You
went back to it, and it looked like you tried to juice a little bit to get it past that spot, and then after that you moved in just a pinch. It was like you were saying, I execute what I want, but that's not going to be there for very long.
Right. So all day long, there was enough oil in the middle that if you missed in, it would go past it. So you felt like you had to get it to the right down the lane. So that's probably what you saw. I was really trying to make sure down the lane I was getting it to the right, so I could get it to recover.
And then the left lane looked like it just had a lot nicer hold down lane, and you could get a little bit closer to 25.
Yeah, absolutely. The left lane was a little smoother down the whole lane. I actually had recovery, so I could keep it in and just actually be a little bit easier through that lane, and that's why I chose to finish on that lane.
I got to say, I did get lucky and win one of the ball raffles today, and I think maybe you sold me on the Zen Master.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's a really good ball right now. It's probably, it's one of their better balls right now out. They've got quite a few out right now that are really good, but I really like that ball right now.
Tony Mounted Jr. coming in first place. Nice job. Have a good trip home, and we'll see you next month in Topeka and Emporia.
Yeah. Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Score's going to go up again. That's just how it is.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations to Tony Mounted Jr. for the win here at Gladstone with a close match with Steve Point. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. A huge thanks to Dave Axon for joining me on the broadcast for all 4 matches. Nice bowling by Steve Points coming up from the opening match to the title match, and threw a great ball in the 10th, but just came up with that 10th and didn't make it. So still all around a great match and nice step ladder final. So thanks again for joining us. Wanted everyone to make sure to put your names down for the doubleheader next month at Gage in Topeka and Flint Hill Lanes in Emporia on the 27th and 28th of November. Get on Facebook, put your names down, let Dan know, let Scott know, and we will have the telecast at both places, at Flint Hill Lanes in Emporia on the 28th and Gage in Topeka on the 27th. So for Scott and Dan, I'm Ryan Ragland. Again, thanks for Dave Axon for joining me. Congratulations again to Tony Mounted Jr.